What's your best match or game pick?
Well, Ravens and the Titans, Alex's beloved Tennessee Titans, they play.
Go on.
They're in London this week. Let's go the Lunder, shall we? That's right, the Lunder. Because that's the London under. Under 41.5. You might go, geez, Jim, that's still a bit low. And it's like, yeah. And both these teams stink when it comes to scoring.
Yeah,
because they really do. In terms of the actual scoring for these two teams, right? If you just want to go points per game, which is a very, very simple metric.
I reckon we've scored 5 touchdowns all season.
Tennessee are averaging 17.6 points a game. That is,
wow.
I want to say,
even I know that's horrible. Yeah,
7th or 8th worst, and Baltimore at 21.8,
Ugh.
and that came after a big one last week. So even just those simple averages can fall under 40 points. But look, I just don't see the Titans putting up a big enough score on Baltimore, whose defense always dealing with injuries, but then Baltimore do the same sort of thing on offense. Like the Tennessee defense has been handy at times. I think this is just going to be a dour arm wrestle in an absolute classic of a London game where you're like, wow, well, we sent Baltimore and Tennessee to London, and what we got was a 17-14 slog. Gross.
Is this at Tottenham Stadium again?
I think so. It's at Tottenham again. I'm probably when the numbers for this came out as well, the line was about, I think it was around 3. It's sort of moved towards Tennessee to be 4 now, as I think folks have jumped on Baltimore. Baltimore dealt with a lot of drops last week. I think Baltimore win this, but Tennessee just plays stupid games. Give me +4 for Tennessee. I think they can at least keep this in within a field goal. It feels like an absolute classic UK NFL game where you just go there and you're like, I want to just burn my eyes out. This is horrible. And Baltimore win with a field goal at the end or something, but Tennessee still cover that 4. But we have a couple of other games and match picks over the weekend. So NFL Sunday night, it's a weird setup this week with that sort of game. You've only got two bye weeks. I think it's Green Bay and Pittsburgh. But we have some weird games where they've traveled back from the UK. So Jacksonville come back, they don't take a bye. Buffalo come back, they don't take a bye as well. I think that's a bit of a mistake.
Yeah, that's a bit harsh.
It's very strange. So that means I'm going to break that NFL Australia rule of don't bet on the AFC South. I just did, obviously, talking about Tennessee +4. I'm going to do it again. Indy +4 over Jacksonville. Jacksonville come back. They've just won their 2 games in London. This is an interdivisional game. 2 times AFC South, steer clear. But if you're going to go something, Indy +4, that's great. Indy are just flying at the moment. They've got Jonathan Taylor back. Had Zach Moscow absolutely ham last week. Indy +4 over Jacksonville. Miami are absolutely going to demolish a rate Carolina because Carolina are the worst team in the NFL. And Miami have set the record for the most yards and points through 5 games. So that seems like a big thing. -13.5 there. Thank you very much. Houston over New Orleans. You might go, well, this is a bit strange. Didn't Houston lose last week, Jim? I'm like, yes, they did. On a game-winning field goal from Younghoe Koo by Atlanta. New Orleans slapped my beloved New England Patriots around the park in Foxborough. It was brutal. It sucked. They shut them out. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. Talk about an absolute letdown spot for New Orleans, though. Turn around, go lose to Houston. Thank you very much. Houston +1.5. Detroit -3 over Tampa Bay. I already mentioned that. Detroit's defense has been handy. Tampa Bay come in off a bye, but I think Detroit is still just too good across the park. And, of course, the Philly over Jets one that I talked about on yesterday. Philly -7. It hasn't moved yet. I'm sticking with that. That's 5 legs at 24.35. Gentlemen, please, rate
my multi.
Nice. I'll give it a 9. I really like that. I like some of the underdogs you get there. Philly -7, like you mentioned. I'll be all over that. So, yeah, I'll give it a 9. Very nice.
They're going to bury Zach Wilson. It's going to be brutal. Turn it off. He's already dead. Alex, how do you feel?
7.
7.
13, just 13.5 just feels like a lot. I know Miami are awesome, but God, it's a lot.
Miami put up 70 on Denver. They won by 50.
It's still a lot.
It is, but it's only 2 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill could do that in his sleep. If you want to cut out the AFC South teams, as I've mentioned, right, just the ones that you're like, all right, I don't want to bet on the AFC South. Simple as that. This is the NFL Australia rule. You still end up with Miami, Detroit, and Philly, and that's still $6.70. So I actually don't mind that. It's just a 3-legger, just saying. Saturday, Friday NBL, to recap what Stats Guy and I were talking about yesterday, we've got Brisbane, Sydney. We've got the big Aaron Baines news. He's been suspended for 5 games.
Massive.
Hashtag free bangers. What are you going to do?
That's harsh. That's harsh.
Sometimes you just want to fight opposition coach.
It's 12 less than what you thought it was going to be, though. You said 17 to begin with.
I was joking.
Nah, five seems like too much. I think.
Hashtag free bangers. Let the man play. All he did was try to fight Adam Ford. We've all had that thought in our lives. Let's go.
Yeah.
But Brisbane, I think that line will probably
surely
a little bit now. And it is now down to 4.5 for the Kings. I'd still be backing the Kings at this point. We had them -1.5. I think we're still on them at -3.5. And I think we're still going -4.5 Stats Guy.
Yeah, Baines is a huge out. I think that he's their defense and rebounding and even some of their offense when he plays a bit of bully ball. So Sydney Kings going to be all over him.
Yep, the over-under's actually moved up to 177.5 as well. I'd probably still stick with the over because without bangers there, I think it becomes a little bit more free-flowing, a little bit more shooty-shooty. And Perth, Melbourne out there in the West tonight. Perth, 2.5-point favourites still. I'm still going to go back United. The over-under is still sitting at 175.5. I think I'm still going to go the over there as well. Saturday's slate, though, Stats Guy. I don't know how you feel about these. Sixers, Hawks. Gross. Hawks got absolutely...
Yeah, that's a bad game.
By Tassie last night.
It's 2 pathetic towns, so let's be honest.
Oh.
That Adelaide. It's like also Illawarra is not a town, but whatever.
Yeah, a locality.
A spot.
I just still think of them as the Wollongong Hawks, to be honest.
Yeah.
Dumping on a region. Nothing like it. But this is the Sixers -1.5. I think this is their best chance to get a win on the board. So I'd probably go the Sixers -1.5. I'd probably steer clear of the over-under at 176.5, though. That's just...
176. Oh, yeah, because it could be 2 crap teams that can't play defense, but then it could be 2 crap teams that can't shoot. So it could go either way, yeah.
Phoenix Jackies is the other one tomorrow night on Saturday at 7 p.m. Phoenix are at home. They're 1.5-point underdogs. I'd actually jump the Phoenix at home +1.5.
Yeah.
The Jackies are playing really well, but on 2 days, Phoenix can probably scheme up something a little bit here. I'd still go the over as well. That's only 174. The Phoenix don't play much defense.
No.
So there we go. All right, Alex, match and or game picks.
Yeah, having a look at the Cricket World Cup games over the weekend, just rip through them, which will include Monday night's game because there's 4, make it nice and even. New Zealand will smoke Bangladesh later tonight.
I believe that is pronounced Jim's beloved New Zealand.
Yes. Yes, you are better than Ben Stokes as a gingered Kiwi. I agree.
Absolutely.
You don't punch blokes at a pub, so that's all right.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, I suppose you may have done some stuff in Ballarat back in the day.
I did actually. I brought up this morning to the squids at the brekkie table because old mate's away. She's out tonight. She's on a big work thing. So I'm like, all right, what do you reckon tonight? Pub feed? And Jack, the biggest little one, he's just like, oh yeah. I'm like, sweet, we go to the pub.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's better than last time I saw him at the pub where he's just like, I just want to go home, man.
This guy's been dudes down at the pub.
Yeah.
Try not to get in any punch-ons. So
Fair enough.
anyway,
Tell you what, I'd back Jack to belt Stats Guy though.
Whoa.
not much difference in height. Jeez.
Yeah,
I tell you what, that's just
you
not
go the
happening.
headbutt and just wham.
Not much in height.
You are small. Anyway, New Zealand will smack Bangladesh around. Jim's beloved New Zealand are going really good. They're looking very dangerous. Again, a tournament that involves 9 Bangladesh games ain't great. India will beat Pakistan just because they're simply better. The atmosphere could absolutely get to this Pakistan team. It is going to be an electric atmosphere.
Yeah.
So if you're doing nothing Saturday night, actually tune into this for
130,000.
half an hour or so. So it's going to be absolutely sweet.
I'll be watching.
Yeah, England will just embarrass Afghanistan. I'm sorry, England are just much better. And on Monday, after our pitiful performance last night, I'm going to tip Sri Lanka at $4 to beat Australia just because those
they're
odds are
$4.
way too good. Why didn't we learn last night? We should not be favourites or very heavy favourites at anything. We are $1.29. It is disgusting.
Sri Lanka have beaten Pakistan and India this year, I'm pretty sure, in a couple of matches. Like, they're not that bad.
Yeah, we
Wow.
stink. Gerald, please hit the button.
Rate my multi.
You can get $8 for all those head-to-head ones.
Ooh.
I like that a lot. The Sri Lanka one obviously is a little
That's
bit
the 50-50.
Yeah, but you get to that, you're on the final leg. You have something small in Australia, just to,
balance it out, hedge that one out, and away you go. I actually really like that because I tend to agree with the India-Pakistan call, obviously New Zealand and England too. So, I mean, I'm on board. Sri Lanka could easily beat Australia from what we've seen, right? Like,
Yeah.
batting is not firing. I do worry about like the Sri Lanka bowlers. Obviously, we've seen what South Africa took them absolutely apart the other day. But the way that Australia's batting, like, they'll score 250.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, we went off. We scored 262. So, that's probably not going to be enough. I'll tell you that much.
No.
I like that. I'll give that a 9. All on board.
Yeah, I'll give it a 9 as well. Sri Lanka, just looking at it, they've scored over 320 in both their matches. We can't even get 200. So, yeah.
Yeah, it is underrated how heavy and all in the Australians were on winning the World Test Series and the Ashes. Like, so this is sort of an afterthought, to be honest. Like, we did what we needed to do, and crap, we got a.
I'm just worried about the young guys coming through, which is anyway.
What young guys?
That's my point.
Yeah, exactly. Our bowlers look old and cooked. It's not great.
And how bad is it?
The fact that Maxi was like our best bowler last night.
That's a worry.
Horrible.
Yeah.
All right. Stats guy.
Yeah, looking at that huge Cricket World Cup match that Alex was talking about, I think it's going to be a sellout, 132,000 in India. So India taking on Pakistan. I think this will be a really close matchup, even though I am leaning slightly towards India. They're third and fourth ranked teams in the world. It will be hard for
the world
Pakistan.
ranking means absolutely nothing when it's these two.
Well, I originally, when they're going head to head, I originally thought the world rankings weren't that good, but New Zealand and South Africa, who are 1 and 2, have actually been really good. So the rankings aren't too bad. Pakistan, I think they can keep this close though. They're pretty strong against spin, and you got the conditions in India that are pretty similar, and they've got a lot of batters that can play both spin and pace and have been strong against India in the past. India, though, they've won 8 of the last 10 ODI meetings. So in these big matches, in these big rivalries, especially at home, you got to back India. I think they're only $1.44, but I don't mind Pakistan at the line. 4 of the last 5 meetings, they've covered this line. So you can get Pakistan plus 5.5 wickets or plus 33.5 runs at $1.90. As I said, 4 of the last 5 meetings in all formats have been less than this. I just think they match up really well. They've both got really good white ball batters and bowlers. So mainly the pace guys for Pakistan will have to do a bit of the work. But yeah, they match up really well. India should get the job done, especially at home in that massive stadium that's going to be absolutely rocking. But yeah, $1.90, a bit better value for Pakistan just to cover the line there.
That is fascinating that 4 of the last 5 have hit under those lines.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Some of them were 2020, so that's a bit of an outlier. But just in general, I think a lot of this rivalry is close. So plus 5.5 wickets. The 33.5 runs is, I don't know if that's an even sort of thing to the plus 5.5, but still don't mind it.
I like that. I still think I'll just jump on India with a head-to-head and maybe another couple of other little bits and bobs here.
Fair enough.
That's still pretty good. It's good digging, stats guy. Not bad.
Nice.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.